I'm Haley, and I'm going to put you through a Yin Yoga class today. It's kind of built to help kind of stretch and relax the back a little bit. So if you're having a little bit of stiffness in your back, this will be a great practice to kind of help loosen that up and release some of those muscles. So let's join me here. We're going to start at the back of the mat in a child's pose. So you can take whatever variation feels good to you. You can either start with your big toes to touch and spread your knees out wide, dropping your hips back onto your heels and walking your hands forward, letting your chest fall through down towards the ground, resting your forehead down onto the ground into your child's pose. And this is one version you can take, or you can bring your knees together, resting your hips back onto your heels, letting your chest drape over your thighs, forehead back down towards the ground. And in this variation, you can either leave your arms stretched out long, or you can bring them down to your side, palms facing up. This will kind of round the shoulders a little bit more, letting your shoulders drape down over your knees, getting a good stretch throughout the back, letting a slight rounding to the back here. This is the variation that I'm going to stay in, but you can do whichever variation feels the best for you and your back this morning. And as you choose your variation, start focusing in on your breath, breathing fully down deep into your belly, feeling the expansion of your ribs as you breathe in, filling your lungs all the way up, and feeling the collapse of your body as you exhale, pushing the air all the way out. Try and make your inhales and exhales be approximately the same length. And use your breath to help focus and clear the mind, just kind of getting rid of any thoughts or worries that you have developed in your little brain. Using this time to clear the mind, focus on the body, focus on the breath, and use this time to reset both the body, the mind, and the spirit. And try focusing on connecting all of those as you use this time to come into the breath, getting rid of any stress or worry, knowing that it'll be there waiting for you when you step off of your mat. So releasing it for the time, allowing your body to fully connect to your yoga practice, getting the rest and restoration that your mind and body needs. On your next inhale, you're going to slowly start moving yourself forward, crawling to the front of the mat, coming onto your stomach, letting your chest fall down onto the ground, releasing the tops of your feet, and then walking your elbows forward so that your elbows are underneath your shoulders, palms flat on the ground, forearms should be parallel to each other. Coming into a Sphinx pose, a gentle back bend, kind of a counter pose to our beginning child's pose. And no need to kind of force this. I mean, a lot of times you want to kind of traction your forearms, pulling your chest through. But let's keep this a gentle back bend here. You want to keep your shoulders away from your ears. You don't want to slump down. So keeping your shoulders pulled down, but keep a slight tuck in your chin so that your neck have that elongation all the way through your neck. And just feeling your pelvis press down into the ground, feeling your belly expand into the ground as you breathe fully into your belly, keeping your inhales and exhales full and deep, about the same length. Using your breath throughout your practice today to remind yourself to clear the mind. And if your mind starts to wander into tasks or um, deadlines or just things other than your yoga practice, it's okay, and allow that thought to be present, but then use your breath to help clear that mind, push that thought away, knowing that it will be waiting for you once we're done. Practice of Yin Yoga is to help slow down, to recenter the mind and the body, and to focus. And sometimes that practice is a little bit more challenging than we want it to be. But allowing yourself the grace to accept that your mind is a busy, busy little bee and that it constantly wants to focus on a task, but reminding yourself that just calmness and stillness and coming into mindfulness is a good exercise for the mind and the body and the brain. And the more that you practice the act of mindfulness and cleansing the mind of any busy thoughts or extra thoughts, the easier that it becomes. Let's take a few more breaths here. Slowly start to lower the chest down towards the ground, bringing your hands flat on the ground next to the ribs, curling the toes, and pressing up into a tabletop position, bringing your knees under your hips, your wrists under your shoulders, feeling that elongation from your tailbone out through the top of your head. So you want your gaze to be forward just a little bit, once again, to keep your neck nice and long. Then we're going to thread the needle, coming into a gentle twist, putting your weight into your right hand, trying to leave equal weight into your knees. As you inhale, stretching your left arm up towards the ceiling, opening up through your chest, holding your upward twist for just a breath. And then slowly thread the needle, bringing your left hand down under the right. Palm's going to be facing up as you drop your left shoulder down towards the mat, dropping your left cheek and ear down towards the ground. Coming into your gentle twist here. You can either leave your right hand here in front of your face, or you can walk that arm out long, stretching, and I help deepening the twist a little here. And breathing fully and deeply down into your belly, pulling the air all the way down into the bottom of your lungs. And letting your exhales empty fully and completely. Feeling your diaphragm push all the air out. And if your right arm is outstretched, slowly bring it back flat to the floor in front of your face and coming back, pushing up back into your tabletop, bringing your weight into your left hand, leaving equal weight into your knees. And as you inhale, reaching your right arm up towards the ceiling, opening up through your chest, stacking your right arm above the left. And one more inhale here, reaching up tall. And as you exhale, threading your needle, right hand comes under your left arm, right palm up towards the ceiling, right shoulder down into the ground, your cheek and ear, and then either leaving that left hand up in front of your face or stretching it out long towards the top of your mat as you relax and soften using your breath to ease into the twist, into the stretch. Walk your left hand back in front of your face, and as you inhale, pressing up back into your tabletop. And then we're going to slowly walk forward back onto our bellies, coming down nice and slow. We're going to do a crisscross shoulder stretch. So you're going to take your right arm, scoop back just a little, right arm, and you're going to cross it so it's stretching out over the left corner of your mat. And then you're going to cross your left arm over the right towards the right corner of your mat. And then just resting your chin down onto your upper arms, letting your lower body release and relax, letting go of any tension out of your hips or out of your feet, letting go of any tension in your shoulders, and feeling your breath expand across your back into your shoulders as you inhale, and feeling it soften as you exhale.
And try to soften with your breath, releasing any tension in your arms, in your hips, and your feet. Just soften and relax into the stretch. And you're going to leave your right hand outstretched where it is and slowly walk your left hand back forward. And then we're going to roll onto our right side, coming into a twist. Your right leg will stretch out in front towards your right arm, and then reaching your left arm out and open, rolling open onto your shoulders, coming into a open out twist. And wherever is comfortable for your neck, you can look up just straight towards the ceiling, leaving a neutral position of your neck, or you can turn looking over your left shoulder. Allowing your body to soften into the twist, releasing any tension out of the hips, releasing any tension out of the shoulders, releasing any tension in the jaw or in the brow. And slowly start rolling back over onto your stomach, left hand back to the ground. Your left leg stretches back out long, just recentering on your mat. And then we'll switch sides, coming into a crisscross. So stretching your left hand out over the right corner of your mat, and then your right arm crosses over your left towards the left corner, and then allowing your chin to rest gently down onto your upper arm. Just making any micro adjustments of your hips square off so that your pelvic bones are resting softly into the ground. And use your breath to help soften into the stretch. Once again, releasing any tension out of your lower body, releasing any tension out of your shoulders, and breathing deeply into your lungs, feeling your breath fill up across your back body, and releasing, continuing all the way out of your back. And leaving your left hand and arm where it is, slowly walk your right hand back, and then rolling open, right arm opens up, right leg stretches out long, coming into your open out twist towards the right. Bringing your right hand back across the body, rolling back over onto your stomach. Right leg goes out long, left hand in next to your ribs, curling your toes, and then pressing up back into a tabletop position, centering with your wrists under your shoulders, fingers spread wide as your palms are flat on the ground, knees under your hips, tops of your feet released down to the ground. And we're going to come into some barrel rolls. So kind of moving through a cat and cow, but rolling through. So as you tilt the pelvis, pulling the belly through, pulling your chest, just start rolling up, doming the back, and then rolling down to the other side, kind of making this as slow and exaggerated as you can, just moving through flexion and extension. And if you have any area that feels good that you want to put any extra stretch into, just make this your own. Just moving slowly, moving with your breath. Now let's take it in the opposite direction. Even things out here. And one more here to even things out. And then meet me back in tabletop when you're ready. We're going to end with a little balancing challenge here, coming into a sunbird. We're going to start by extending your left leg out. You can either leave your toes on the ground or you can raise your left leg up in alignment with your hip, leaving your hips squared to the floor. So you don't want that left hip to raise up. You want to keep your hips in alignment. And you can stay here if this is enough of a challenge here, or you can stretch your right hand out long, reaching up next to your ear, coming into a balancing tabletop or a sunbird. You can release your toes back down to the floor as a alteration or a modification here if you need to. Remember to keep your core pulled in tight, belly button in towards your spine to protect that low back. And one more inhale, stretching out long between the heel and your fingertips. And exhale, bringing your hand and knee back down to the ground. And just rock your hips side to side just to kind of stretch it out. And come back into your tabletop, recentering yourself on your mat. And start by extending your right leg out long, either leaving your toes down onto the ground or raising your leg up, staying in alignment with your hip, and then extending your left arm out long, keeping it up next to your ear, keeping your core activated as you balance on opposite hand and knee.
continuing to breathe fully and deeply into your belly. Once again, you can drop that back foot down to the ground as a modification if you need. And give me one more inhale, stretching out long from your fingertips through the sole of your foot, and hand and knee back down to the ground. And just shake it out side to side. And crossing your feet, rolling onto your sits bones. It's coming into an easy seat, cross-legged seat here. And we're gonna make sure your sits bones are secured down onto the ground, spine's nice and tall. Centering with your head over heart, heart over pelvis. Then as you inhale, reaching your arms up tall. And then exhale, just coming into a forward fold, bending at the waist, curling the back, tucking the chin, and just coming down to your own degree. Getting a good stretch in the lower back, making sure that your sits bones are pressed down into the ground, a good stretch for your outer hip flexors. And just allowing your body to soften into the fold, using your breath once again to release any tension that you're holding on to. Using your breath to clear the mind and focus in on your practice. And when you're ready, slowly walk yourself back up to a seated position. And let's switch the seating of your feet. So switching whichever leg's out in front. So we're going to kind of even things up a bit. Typically when you switch the cross of your leg, it just kind of feels a little bit funny. So get resituated, getting your sits bones down onto the ground, centering once again with your head over heart, heart over pelvis. And as you inhale, stretching your arms and spine up tall, and exhaling back into your forward fold. Keeping your sits bones firmly pressed into the ground as you bend forward at the waist, curling the back and tucking the chin. You may find that one side is a little stiffer than the other, that you can't fold as deep in one side over the other, and that's okay. Just honoring those little asymmetries is an important part of yoga, noticing that we're not always equal or the same on each side with our strength and flexibility. And it's not anything that you need to worry over. That is just a normal part of life. And just learning to work with your body's ability wherever you're at. Just continue to breathe and soften into the fold, into the stretch. And slowly start walking yourself back up to a seated position, lengthening your spine up tall, bringing your hands to prayer at heart center. I want to thank you for joining me in practice today. Hope you're feeling much more limber and loose, that your mind is more calm and relaxed, and that you can take this sense of calm and relaxation with you throughout the rest of your day. It's a blessing to be able to serve you and practice with you. I bow to you. Namaste.